Your phone buzzes in your pocket. You check it. Nothing there. 10 minutes later you check it anyway. This happens to the average smartphone user over 90 times a day, according to a 2021 Assurance survey. Nobody trained you to do this. Something older than language is running the show. In 1999, researchers Peter Paroli and Stuart Card at Xerox PARC studied how animals forage for food. They applied the same math to how humans hunt for information. They called it information foraging theory. A forager in a berry patch keeps picking as long as the yield stays high. The moment berries thin out, the forager moves to a new patch. Your brain treats a news feed the same way it treats a bush full of berries. 300,000 years ago, that system kept people alive. A forager scanning grassland for movement, sound, or a change in the wind was running a threat and opportunity detector built by evolution. Every rustle mattered. Every unexplained shape could be food or could be a predator. Uncertainty drives it. In the 1990s, neuroscientist Wolfram Schultz recorded dopamine neurons in monkeys while he gave them juice rewards on a predictable schedule. Dopamine spiked in anticipation, not at the reward itself. Then he made the reward random. Dopamine spiked higher and stayed elevated longer. Random, uncertain outcomes light up the brain harder than guaranteed ones. B.F. Skinner found the same pattern with pigeons in the 1950s. Pigeons pecking a lever for food on a fixed schedule pecked steadily. Pigeons on a variable schedule, where a peck sometimes paid off and sometimes didn't, pecked constantly, even after the food stopped coming. Psychologists call this a variable ratio reinforcement schedule. It produces the most persistent behavior of any reward pattern tested. Casino engineers figured this out decades before app designers did. Sociologist Natasha Dow Schultz spent years studying Las Vegas slot machine design for her book Addiction by Design. Machine designers tune payout timing to keep players in what she calls the ludic loop, a repeating cycle of play with no natural stopping point. Every pull might be the one that pays. Pull to refresh, the gesture where you drag down on a feed and it snaps back with new content, was built by developer Loren Brichter in 2009 for the app Tweety. Brichter has said publicly he regrets how closely it resembles a slot machine handle. Every pull is a small bet. Sometimes it pays with a message from someone you like. Sometimes the screen refreshes to nothing. Notifications exploit a second ancient circuit. Humans evolved strong novelty bias, a tendency to orient toward anything new in the environment. A change in your surroundings 300,000 years ago could mean food nearby or a predator closing in. Missing it was expensive. A red badge on an app icon triggers the same orienting reflex a snap twig once triggered for a forager. Your visual system flags it before your conscious mind decides whether it matters. Likes and comments tap a third system. Primates spend large amounts of time grooming each other, picking through fur. This serves social bonding and rank confirmation within the group more than hygiene. Anthropologist Robin Dunbar has argued that human gossip and conversation evolved to do the same job at a larger scale, since you can't physically groom 150 people. A notification that someone liked your photo delivers a small hit of the same social confirmation a grooming session once delivered, in under a second. None of this means your habit is a personal failure. Tristan Harris, a former Google design ethicist, has argued publicly that persuasive design teams compete to win your attention using the same reward circuitry casinos use. This isn't about willpower. Engineered uncertainty is competing against a brain built to chase it. Fire once gave early humans a way to control a threat that biology hadn't solved. The fix wasn't stronger claws or better night vision. It was changing the environment so the old instinct no longer worked against them. The equivalent today is smaller than fire. Turning off badge notifications, moving apps off the home screen, setting a feed to load in batches instead of an endless scroll. Each of these removes the variable reward queue instead of asking a 300,000-year-old brain to out-willpower it. You'll still reach for the phone tonight. That reflex took 300 millennia to build. It won't disappear because you read one script. But the next time you feel your hand move before your mind decides, you'll know what's actually happening. A forager, still checking the bush, still waiting to see what's inside.